Hello, everyone. It's Monday. It is time again for manifestation. And we are on, excuse me, your life is waiting, the major do's of manifestation. What you should do. There's also a list of what you should not do, but we thought that was bad manifestation to talk about what you shouldn't do. So we're just sticking with the do's. All right. So I want to know if you guys have been doing the small flip switch from a negative to positive vibration. You're supposed to do the flip switch where if you have any negative thought about anything, you're supposed to go right to your thing that you've decided is the positive thing you're going to think about. The flip switch.
I have not because I can't pick a thing. I don't know what thing I'm trying to pick a thing that I could actively click into in a heartbeat. That would be my switch, and I cannot find that thing. I don't know what it would be.
Hmm.
I'm thinking about it though.
Do you have
If
some
you,
contenders?
I music is the thing, but it's not stuff about me really.
You're still learning to want things. Like I want you by
Yeah,
the end of our manifestation series to just be like, I want this thing.
yeah,
Like you're like
yeah.
kind
I'm
of
not.
a waffle want, a want waffler.
I say that
You're a want waffler.
a want waffler. Um, that's not even a band name.
Yeah, we don't
I
want that band.
I know me wanting is it doesn't come naturally.
Hmm. Do you want
Can
me though in this outfit though?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you want her to do?
I want her to do this like she's in Mardi Gras. Which
Okay.
is
How about
Uh,
coming
you,
up, I guess.
Jay-Z?
Wait, I want to know, Lumiere, what you would allow yourself to want.
You mean for the switch flip thing?
No, no, in general, like what could you want and like really get behind like, oh yeah, I d d deserve that.
I wouldn't use the word deserve. I don't think that way, but I would uh, I want to have I don't know, it's hard. I would like to stay home all day and write.
Hmm. All
That's what I
right.
would like to do. And I would like to eat while I write. So I need to find a way to make money at it. But if I could have magic, that's what I would have.
Eat. So maybe it's eating right. Right and eat.
Eat, eat and write.
But wait,
No,
do
Eating
I
you
mean,
right. It's like a cafe, the eating right.
I'd like to have enough money to do that. And then, clothe the kids and get them food and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But
I like the
that's my
eating
thing.
right
But I don't
cafe. I like the eating right cafe.
eat and write. That would be a good cafe. I do not want to run a cafe.
I know, but you just every cafe you go to is the eating right.
Yeah,
Any coffee shop you're in is the eating right.
eat and write.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
then
do
you don't
that.
have to cook the food, you don't have to clean up, and you also don't have to hire the staff and do all the taxes and all that
Right,
kind of stuff.
right.
So, oh no.
Oh no.
You've broken the fourth veil.
We broke the fourth.
Broke the
We're
fourth
not in
wall.
the
I
circus
was
anymore.
I was really digging that because it's got a kind of bokeh effect that's really abstract. I can't see anything clearly. So that was kind
Oh
of
yeah.
cool.
Well, thanks. I
Go
came
ahead.
up with this brilliant idea of a magnet, but I
Oh.
taped them to the wall with painter's tape, which evidently wasn't enough. Hold on.
Ah. Okay, I'll
There.
tell you mine that I've been doing my flip switch.
Yes.
It had to do something really catchy. So I've been doing bead bonanza. So anytime I have a negative feeling, I'm like, bead bonanza.
And what
Let's
does
hit
that
the
do
bead.
for you?
Well, it just gets me thinking about like being covered in beads, and there's beads everywhere, and everyone's got their chart beads and just beads. But it's catchy enough that it's just really easy to flip back to it because I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever.
Does that pull you out of your negative focus, as it says?
Well, it definitely creates a different picture in my mind. Like I can't hold the picture of whatever negative thing I'm thinking and the picture of a bunch of beads all around with at the same time. What's yours, Jay-Z?
Well, now that we've kind of talked through and narrowed down the kind of like fun, intimate relationship that I could have, it's that. Like I start thinking about all the fun things we're gonna do together and just like the vibe that it's gonna be of having someone who's like fun and on my side and that I can like, we can talk about things and help troubleshoot each other's problems or like do fun things together. So
That's good.
since we came up with the word intimacy, and then since I saw that like tantric gif, uh, I've really been into it.
I
So
I
since
could.
you don't know what the guy's gonna
That's
look
great.
like, what do you imagine? Sorry, Lumiere.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, you know that weird gif of the figures like hugging and breathing?
Oh
Well,
yeah.
they're just like a form of a human and not a like, they're just a purple, pink, yellow, whatever thing form.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen this.
Oh, it's like the metallic ethereal human Pisces gif.
Yeah, 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 that one.
Oh, interesting. So that's what you imagine. Oh, perfect, perfect. Sorry, Lumiere. What were you gonna say?
Um, I think, well, I like that, Jay-Z. I like that a lot. It seems like it's something accessible and visual that you could work on that would destroy your negative stuff. And I think that's where I should go. I could just picture somebody sitting in bed with me watching a movie and cuddling, and that might be it. And, somebody that would watch Godard with me.
Oh,
And there are only about four of us in the world. But still, that image of sitting in bed, eating or drinking something, being cozy and watching something, that I could go there because that shows you a comfort range with the person that you were talking about. That you have to do a lot of things and that are comfortable with that person to get to that spot where you're sitting in bed, probably naked and holding each other and watching Godard, then arguing. But anyways, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. I'm going to try and find something like that. And the fact that you've picked a kind of amorphous partner is also good too, because I would be tempted to like, who could I do this with? Who can I do this with? But that's good. An amorphous partner is better.
so do you guys think that the powerful thing is the visual here, where we can't hold the negative visual if we have a positive visual in our mind? Is that the power of it?
It seems to me.
Yeah, it's one of the senses at least, right? So it's either and I think seeing is our most prevalent sense. So yeah, the picture. But if it's the feeling, so it could be any of the other senses as well. Like if you could really feel something, like if you, I don't know, really wanted to go on a hot vacation and you could feel the warmth of the sun on your skin and you substituted that or something.
So it's seeing the picture with feels like it's like babe bonanza. It can't just be like babe bonanza. Like it's got to be like
Right.
bam. Okay.
I mean, if I'm in the car and I'm feeling either depressed or blah, I sing. So that's
Mm.
another kind of flip switch. I just start singing. I have a bunch of
Oh,
songs I know the lyrics to, and I just start singing. So that's a flip switch too. But it
so that's
depends on,
audio.
yeah. Have you tried yours, Jay-Z?
Tried what?
Your flip switch. Have you used it?
Um, Not intentionally, but now that we're talking about it, now I'm gonna start doing it.
Yeah. You don't have a lot of negative thoughts, do you? Sorry.
Well, this thing happened with my truck, which we won't talk about. But when I was getting bummed that like I was gonna have to buy a new truck or something, I just end up trying to like think about anything else that's not negative, and I think I do that pretty easily, but not to anything specific. Like I recognize to stop thinking about that because it's not gonna help, but I haven't really been flip switching.
Now, you
TM.
guys, we got a flip switch. Okay. Okay, here's another one on the list. A do. Stay out of the past. It doesn't exist. I want to talk about this. So, is manifestation all in the future? We never go into the past?
I think so. Because what we've been reading in not good art, especially in this, is that you just think about what you want. You think about what's next, and you don't necessarily think about what you haven't got. I think that's also in her book too, that whatever has happened is old news. And if you think about it, um, it's just going to keep perpetuating.
A lot of what people think about in the past is like past trauma. We talked about this in an episode, I think, about how there's people who really have something in the past that traumatizes them still today. And part of being a manifester is not perseverating on the past traumas, but creating a future that is a void of traumas because we're doing,
Right,
resentment prevention and, trauma prevention by creating a future we like.
right, right. What we
I
want. So
think
you don't want the trauma. And I know that people who experience trauma, um, they don't choose to. It's just they get triggered. And then they're not remembering the trauma, but they're reliving it as if it's happening right then and there. And that's not a choice necessarily. But if you were talking to any of those people, you'd say, well, you don't want that. What you want is to think about what I want to stop this trauma. You know that book, The Body Keeps the Score? That's really a great book about trauma. And that's what he says. He says that you're not thinking about the past, you're in the past at that moment. So I don't have that kind of trauma, but I don't want to think about the past. I want to think about what I want. Also hard for me. Do you two have trouble thinking about what you want?
Well, I feel like Jay-Z's trying to say something.
Oh, sorry.
well, I think that this is a bit contradictory because she does use a technique earlier in the book in which she says, "Remember something that was awesome." and
Mhm.
and bring that back and then live in that feeling. So like that whole body keeps the score. Like, does the body also keep the score of the awesome things? Right? Like, and can you bring back the feeling of like, remember sometime when you like everything went right and like that was, and you had the best feeling and that and like that's the feeling that you want to recapture and you like really sit in that feeling.
Yeah,
Um, and I think that maybe we could do that too. So
yeah,
maybe it's that the past doesn't exist, so you can choose whatever you want from it and, keep the good and ignore the bad.
Well, like for my bead example, like I haven't sold a ton of beads yet. I mean, I sold like $140 of beads at that bazaar, and I sold some chart beads the other day for $62, and like I've sold some beads, but if I looked in the past and I was like, well, beads don't really sell, like like then I would be like afraid of my future that I'm trying to manifest. Like I would be like, bead bonanza, just kidding. They don't really sell. But like that's why you got to stay in the future because you're making a new way, not the old way. It's a new
Hmm.
way.
Hmm.
But when you were just getting started with the beads and you went to that very first thing where you were like, oh my God, is anybody even gonna stop at my booth? And then you came back being like, oh, I had so much fun and I talked to all these different people and, and like people really love my stuff and I'm encouraged to do it more. Like you can recapture that feeling, right?
Oh, interesting. So the point you're making is that it's fine to visit the past if something that supports your future manifestation happened in the past. Like it would be like, so that's interesting. I like that you're kind of amending her. We don't agree with everything we read.
Right.
We have our own thoughts about it because we're alphas. But well, at least I don't know, I identify as an alpha. But I don't know about you guys. But I just think we don't just be like, okay, like to everything in the book,
Right.
but like so I hear what you're saying. It's like we can notice where the past supports our future.
Right. I think Z, aren't you saying that you pick something really good from the past and put it in the future
Or you put it in the now.
or the now? Yeah. Hmm.
So maybe it's like be careful what you take from the past or select from the past. Don't like I don't know.
Well, maybe it's like stop rebaselining and kind of moving the goalposts on yourself and then getting discouraged too, you know?
Hmm.
But we as humans are
Right.
amazing at rebaselining, and that's why we're so resilient in that way. So that we can be resilient to like bad events, but we get resilient to like um things that we've gained as well, you know?
So what explain what you mean by rebaselining.
It's like you're like, oh, if only I had a boyfriend, I wouldn't feel so lonely. And then you get a boyfriend, you're like, wow, if only he called me every 40 minutes instead of twice a day. And then he calls you
Right.
every 40 minutes, and then you're like, well, if only he didn't like talk about his problem when he called me. And then you like, you keep rebaselining and being dissatisfied, a constant state of dissatisfaction.
Interesting. God, that's really
Right.
interesting. And there's something about that where it's like re goal setting. It's like more goals, more goals, more goals. And so then you're just noticing the how can we avoid doing that? Like we can manifest satisfaction in whatever's happening.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's a difficult thing we've been taught by advertising since we were young to never be happy with what you've got. So we just have to decide that we're content. This is good. I have a boyfriend. He calls me every 40 minutes. That's great. I mean, that'd be great for somebody, not me, but that's great. And then and then that's enough. I don't need somebody that calls me every 35 minutes. I'm good.
Well, okay.
Maybe writing things down and looking in your journal too. I mean, then you can remember your past feelings, like you and maybe, and I think that advertising maybe doesn't create this urginess. I think it's like it's innate to us
Is it?
and they tap into it. I mean, they knowingly tap into, I think, something that is there already.
Well, in addiction, they call it the hungry ghost in Buddhism, where no matter how much you feed it of your addictive substance, it wants more. It's like, and a lot of people say in addiction, that's the disease of more, like more, I need more, more, more. Like people, like smoke one cigarette and they want another one and another one, another one. And I think that is the rebaselining thing of just like, we got a boyfriend, now we want more, now we want some more. And like, so it is like, what is the replacement for that in recovery is like having God or having the thing that's ubiquitously always available to you, which is like God consciousness, or like, I mean, I don't know how you fill that need for more, but I do think filling your soul with the Holy Spirit instead of just like constantly, Like we don't want to be like more babies. Be like more. I sold some beats, but I want to sell more. Like we don't want to be more babies. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, don't. More baby. The more babies. There's a band name.
but you know that you know how they spell more Moar? Have you seen that? Like
No,
that's
no.
like Vikings being like more beer. But what is the meaning of Moar? It's like a exuberant more. It's not like more. It's like more beer. It's like more
All
beads. Like it's like we already have enough and we're gonna have some more. Like maybe that's the more we're looking at is like we are fulfilled and now more.
A joyful more.
Oh yeah. An Moar and not an
a
MR.
joyful more.
Let's look up MOAR. Like what is the definition of that? Because it's a different meaning than MORE. Define MOAR. More is an intentional misspelling of the word more. It is often used online to humorously express a desire for more of something. Um, let's see.
Used
More
online as a
emerged online in the 1990s. It's frequently associated with the online message board 4chan. It joins and contributes to an active tradition of cute or ironic misspellings. So it says, like, here's an example. Wait, humans, that was fun. I want more cuddles. You can call me a little spoon again if you really. But I do feel like that more is a different thing. It's like I have enough and I want more. Like I feel like that's what we're looking at.
it emerges online the late 1990s, appearing in Usenet um, posts along with other deliberately misspelled words.
Okay,
And
here's
4chan.
okay. So okay. So here's let's accept once and for all that you are the creator of your experience.
All right, done.
That's right.
Well, what do
Uh,
non-manifestors, who do
heck,
non-manifestors believe is the creator of their experience?
well, I think that it depends on the person. The blame throwers think it's somebody else, unless they did it right.
A lot of people think life happens to them.
Yes.
Like, look what happened to me today. Or in astrology, I always do this. What's going to happen to me on XYZ transit? And the really empowered astrologer is going to say, what am I going to do with XYZ transit? What am I going to create with XYZ transit?
Wow.
So what does it look like if we accept that we are the creator of our experience? How does a day unfold if you're the creator versus it's happening to you?
You know, I sorry, I can't stop thinking about what we were talking about. Was it yesterday? Love created me in its image, right? So if
Right.
you're the creator, you create your future experience in the way that you imagine it, and you are the creator, and it's in your image, the way you envision it.
I think if we're the creator of our experience, we have to be accountable to when the experience isn't grand. And we also have to be accountable when it is a great experience. Like, here's an example. So I posted on Facebook today, which I do every day, but it was like crickets all day long. Like, no one showed up on my questions, no one showed up in like my posts. And it's like, I could be like, God, no one likes me anymore. But I asked like my boyfriend and my daughter at over at the soda fountain. I was like, so what do you guys think? What could I do differently? What could I create differently to like rouse the crowd again, And like I really looked at it as like I need to create a better thing or like I had to take accountability that I created that day. Even though you could say it's the people always blame it on the algorithm. I'm like, you mean the people? I'm like the algorithm is actually a group of people milling around your page. But yeah, like I never blame the algorithm. That's too like I'm not the creator of my own universe, kind of. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I always look to make my Facebook better if I had a crickets day. But like that's the burden of being the creator of your own universe is you have to be like, but then the joy of that is I can be like, more Facebooking. Like, I didn't like that quiet day. That was boring. I want more. Like, but like in a happy way, right? Like,
But you have to think about what could make it better. It's just like writing a script. You look at it, you read it, and you think, but you don't think for very long because you're thinking, what will make this better? What will make this work? And you're doing the same thing. What will make this better? I got crickets. So you also can't accept the full responsibility for crickets because it's a Monday and people are something distracted, stupid, busy, so it's not all about what you did.
well, maybe there's a spectrum. Like, you're not supposed to in recovery, you learn to not have your own will being too big of the part of the equation. You're supposed to give things up to God's will. And you're like, well, God's will was that it was crickets. Like my will is that I wanted a Facebook, but God's will is it was crickets. Like, but that's the dance of what we can control, what we can't control. And the ancient Stoics knew that that's a thing. They say happiness is focusing on what you can control and letting go of judging what you can't control. Like, I can't control that they didn't respond. So I'm not going to judge it as good or bad. I'm just like, oh, but then I
Yeah.
am going to focus back on what I can control, which is to change the conversation tomorrow.
Right.
That's my third chakra meditation that I write in my journal every day. It goes like this. Uh, I accept, I trust and follow my own will and accept what I cannot change.
Oh, that's exactly that. Like it's like your will and the greater will are both equal. But it's like a spectrum, like like you can like dial in and out of that spectrum. Okay. Now, follow your impulses. That's your guidance.
That's my sixth chakra meditation. I trust my intuition.
So what do you guys think about
I'm
people
saying
who
these things like because not that I've learned and feel them, but like I mean I have learned them and I am feeling them, but only because I'm practicing them. I'm saying that I write these things every day because I tell myself that every day, like in trying to have a better life. I just want to clarify that I don't think like that even, you know, do these things all the time or whatever. It's just like I'm trying to constantly remind myself and remember these things.
So it's good I mean, I like that's you're not letting that thought fade away. You're keeping it in your head by repeating it.
Well, okay, so follow your impulse, that's your guidance. So I read this entrepreneur's book and it was saying whenever you have an impulse, go after it right away. In the seven habits of highly effective people, one of the habits is be proactive. So like a lot of people have an idea and then they wait on it for weeks. That is not highly effective. So like I had this one impulse where I was like, I gotta dress like a clown. Like I gotta dress like a clown, like tomorrow. Tomorrow I gotta dress like a clown. And I was like, and I've learned from this. I was like, that's it. Like tomorrow. And I was at Goodwill looking for clown stuff and I like made a clown post like the next day, right? And I felt super revol or expressed. I was just like, oh, phew, I'm so glad I got that clown photo out. Like, but like if I would have waited on the clowning, for some reason I would have been dying inside. Like, but it's like you don't want to have like impulse control issues. But I do think being proactive is a kind of following your impulse, saying like my intuition said to do this, I'm gonna do it now. Like
Yeah,
what do you think about that? Like the now
I
state.
like it.
You do.
Yeah, I like it because it's following your creative energy. And then my parallel thing is that sometimes I'll be in bed late at night, either listening to music or falling asleep, and I'll think about something I'm working on, a piece of writing I'm working on, and all of a sudden I think, well, what if she comes in, opens the door, and says this to him instead of the other thing? If you don't do that now, if you don't get out of bed and make a point of putting that the way you want it, right then and there, you lose it. Because the next morning, it's not going to be as inspired as it was. So I like the fact that you're giving into your impulse to change your creativity.
What do you think about the fact they say people have impulse control problems?
Well, I think it's a big spectrum, this big spectrum. I think people with impulse control problems are people that can't stop. They're hedonists who can't stop doing anything. I'm going to drive on the sidewalk. I'm going to eat a half gallon of ice cream.
I
I'm
see.
going to throw sticks at my dog.
But I think in manifestation, the point here is like when your intuition says something to you, act on it right now. If I post something on my Facebook and it's crickets, at least I acted on my intuition and I can take it down. I'd be like, yeah, my
Yeah.
intuition was wrong. But at least I tried.
You don't have to take it down because you never know with Facebook, 2 days from now, everybody could respond to what you put up.
So Jay-Z, did you Google gay yoga retreats?
Gay
Oh,
yoga.
I have not, but I did write it down so that I will not forget that.
Okay. Because that was an impulse we had where we're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Why didn't we think of this before?
Yeah. Okay. So, but I think that's a good lesson for everyone listening is like, if you are manifesting things, whatever intuition you have about that thing, especially go for it really quickly. Like, like, bam, I'm going to do this. Bam, I'm going to do this. Don't wait on your manifestations. That's a big part of really making them happen.
Yep.
Well,
I would go ahead.
I think part of what she was also saying is like you never know in what manner the universe is going to provide the thing you're trying to manifest. So if it's dropping some hints, you got to go with them and grab them and see if that's the one that turns out to make manifest the thing that you desired, you know?
Hmm.
Because you're not gonna automatically just magically, get the things with no energy on your side either. So I think following your impulses or intuitions is like you put forth your energy to help make this thing manifest in this reality.
Yeah, you have to. I think inspiration. You have to follow your inspiration. When you're inspired, it's like, oh, that's nice. What else is on? You have to follow stop what you're doing and follow the inspiration. There is a mini yoga retreat in New Jersey. Naked mini yoga retreat in, it doesn't say where, in New Jersey.
When your friend follows your impulse.
Sounds awesome.
Oh, it's
Okay.
$100.
All right. Practice flowing appreciation. So you should flow appreciation to street signs, brick buildings, red lights, and other outdoor objects as you're driving. But I think the bigger thing is show appreciation on your path of manifestation.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah, I
is
took this called The Science of Happiness, and one of the things in it is that like the whole gratitude thing, that like if you're grateful for things, you have more happiness, scientifically measurably. Whole vagus nerve thing or something like that. But I think that that's what she's getting at here of like practicing gratitude, practicing flowing happiness, then it gets easier and easier, and then you're in that state more. And then you have that feeling more, and it's kind of like the flywheel effect, like we were talking about before.
which is like a spiral moving upwards, like where you're getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Well, this is part of that not rebaselining and just being like, oh, thanks for nothing, universe. I got my boyfriend, thanks for nothing. Like you're
Right.
supposed to be like, I am so grateful for the boyfriend that I have gotten. Like, I'm so grateful for his 40-minute phone call or whatever. I'm so grateful. Like, and that's noticing what you're so happy about as you then go more boyfriend in the monitor. Like,
Yeah. He calls me every 40 minutes. That's great. Or he doesn't call me every 40 minutes. That could be great too.
yeah. Yeah, I guess gratitude is the process of enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Well, and I do think thanking people like along your manifestation, like if someone, shows you a gay yoga retreat, you can be like, I'm so grateful that you showed me the gay yoga retreat. And then people will be like, oh, I'm going to show you another one too. Like I do think it does keep people on with you.
I agree. I don't think people are used to other people being really happy about something like that. They're not used to saying, "Oh, thank you so much for showing me that. I love that. I always wanted to go to a naked retreat in New Jersey. They for $100. There is one in Palm Springs though. It's 5 days, but it's $400.
Oh,
Anyway,
thank you for telling me that, Lumiere.
sure.
Tell
But
me more.
see, see,
It works. The gratitude works.
I love that you love it, and I think people aren't used to that.
Yeah.
If you say, I found out about this movie Tuesday night, they'll say thanks, But if they said, wow, that's great. I was going to stay home and twiddle my thumbs till 8:30, but that's great. I really want to, I think that would push both people to do more.
Yeah, like every time someone buys beads for me, no matter how small, I'm just be like, I am so grateful that you bought these beads for me. Thank you so much. Like, I'm so grateful. And then they'll be like, oh my God, she was so happy. I'm gonna buy some for little Tommy too. Like, I think it would work?
Hmm.
Like it makes me think of this shirt I got from some guy named like Louis Savage on Etsy or something. I got this patch from him and he sent me this like little handwritten note. He's like, we're so thankful for your business and all stuff. I was like, oh, Louis, I love you. And then I was like, if I wanted another patch, I'd go back to that guy, because
Yeah,
he sent me the nice note, and I think it
yeah.
does gratitude
I
does.
just, I just got these. I don't know what I did with them. I got a sticker. I got one for somebody else, and then decided to get one for myself. It's people in line as they were in a still from Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal. Not too specific, but they sent such a great thank you note for me buying this like $4 sticker. I bought three of them, but they sent such a big note, and I thought, wow, it's like I bought a piano from you. And it's just
You
this.
bought another one because of it?
No,
That is so
no,
cool.
I bought one for somebody else, and then I wanted another one, and then I got this one for me. But I bought them all at the same time, and they were like, "Oh, wow, that's so great that you bought. Thank you so much." And
They're like
it makes me want
$12
to
worth
buy,
of
huh?
stickers. $12 worth of stickers.
Yeah, it makes me want to go back to them. I mean, it's good business practice, probably, but also they didn't have to do that. They could just write thank you, and that would have been enough.
More stickers.
Yeah, I'm not selling too much, but there's one in Vermont in Frog Meadow. There's a gay yoga retreat in Frog Meadow.
Oh, that's pretty close, Vermont. That would be a good one.
Yeah. And Frog Meadow it's like a B and B or yeah, I think it's a B and B.
Oh, nice. Ooh, Frog Meadow. What's that a metaphor for?
I don't know. I think that's the name. Well, probably no frogs and no meadow. A country, I'm clicking on it. I can't believe we're doing this now, but a country bed and breakfast and massage oasis for men in southern Vermont.
Ooh, Southern Vermont, even closer. Nice. All right. Take this
So,
detail.
do you guys, I'm gonna
Details.
divert from the dues list for a second, since we're at the end of our hour, but I watched this sermon
Are we?
yesterday on God's timing, because
Yeah.
timing is a big part of manifestation. It's like you can be trying to, like, there was things I was trying to manifest at the Moira Press last year, and they just are happening now, which is a year later.
Hmm.
And so it's interesting that this sermon I saw on God's timing, because it was like he was like saying, he was like, don't let the math distract you. Don't let the math distract you, which is like the counting of the timing, right? And the same with the numbers, when we were like, what do we do if we have low numbers? And he's like, don't let the math distract you, right? So he was like, maybe God's taking it slow so you can learn what you need to do. And he was like showing this example where he learned this like special handshake, but they had to slow it down to like show him how to do the handshake so he could do it real fast later. But it's like, what do you guys think of the timing? Like, how do we maintain gratefulness and an open heart as the timing takes longer than we want sometimes?
Well, I think we have to let go of the timing. We have to think it'll happen and let go of the timing. And we're used to having things fast. In America, instant gratification is way too slow. So we have to let go of that a little bit. I have an example, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but I put books on my list at the library, and I never know when they're going to come because there could be 5 other people or 100 people. So I put them there. I know that that's a bookmark for me, so to speak. I have them, and someday they'll come. And then when they say your book is ready, I'm like, yeah. But it could be 6 months or a year later. I just let go of when I'm going to get it. I don't keep looking and say, well, a lot of people reading this book. I don't do that.
Well, that's a really good example. It's like think about your manifestations. You put a book on hold in the library. That's actually brilliant
Oh,
because
I
you like
never,
you know you're gonna get the book someday.
someday. Yeah.
Oh my
You
God, I'm gonna start looking at my manifestations that way. Like I put Bead Bonanza on hold in the library.
It's
yeah,
like
that's right.
you put in the order and they're
So
making it now.
yeah, so what we need is like a hold list for our manifestations.
Oh my God, Jay-Z, what's your response? We have 1 minute.
Well, I have to say on the boyfriend thing, like I've been wanting a boyfriend now for months. But I'm glad that I didn't get one way back at the beginning because like now I've figured out better what it is that I want, and now I can envision what I want it to feel like, what I want. And I would have taken whatever came along back then. And now I think it's more refined so that it will be better for me. So I think there's also that of like recognizing when you can actually think like, you know what? It's probably better that I didn't get it back then.
And
Interesting.
that's part of manifestation theory too, isn't it? Where you part of it might come because it comes out of the universe, but it might come also because you've been thinking about it for a long time. Isn't that the idea that if you lean that way, it might help it manifest? That's great.
Leaning that way.
All right.
But
Well,
won't
I
you
want
be
to.
surprised when it comes, you know? I mean,
Hey, that's cool. Like you're surprised when your hold comes. Like I was literally surprised that my manifestations just came true. Like I like literally had a numbers one. It was like I want this much in my spending fund, and I just hit it. And it was a lot. Like I tried for a lot. Like and I was like, oh, I got it. That like I'm shocked. Like not to say it's not that much. I mean, don't get me wrong, but like okay, but you guys, hey, I want to say I am so grateful for this person who wrote this book, Lynn Grabhorn. You have taught us so much with writing this book, and we are so, so grateful for you and letting
yes.
us go through this book online. Thank you so much. Any last words about this book?
No, but yes, it enlarged me beyond manifestation theory there because she talks about a lot of life. And so some of that was good. I liked it.
All right, and next we're moving on to Real Magic, Creating Miracles in Everyday Life with Wayne Dyer. So I'm
Which
so
I
excited to see what's in here.
have to go get.
I love you guys.
All right.
I
I'm
love
glad we're
you.
done with the book and that we're going on to something else.
Nice. We'll flip that switch, baby. That's one thing I learned. I'm gonna flip all the switches.
There's a t-shirt. Flip the switch.
Put your manifestation on hold and flip that switch. All right.
Yeah, on your hold list, not your hold queue, not like on hold.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right, you guys, we'll see you
All right,
soon. Bye.
peace.